Hello and welcome, and today we're in Manila at the San Digno Castle. We're just going to have a wander around. I don't know if you saw my other videos, but I did say this new 360 X5 is, I don't know what's happened to, if it was the chip or not. I'm hoping the other footage is better, but it's all corrupted and blurry. But we've tried to save some of the footage. So we're right in the heart of Manila, and we've walked down from the town to here. You can see this goes around in a big circle, the old ruins. You did have to pay to get in, but it wasn't a lot. It was only about 25p or 50p or something like that. So there you have the round. Well, you can't actually go down into there, you can only look from the top down. So we've lost a lot of the footage from there. We've come out and have been walking back up towards the town and seeing these old buildings or old walls. I don't know if it's houses, and it looks like they're redeveloping along here. I stayed at this SMDC. So I booked a hotel because I changed from the other side of Manila to this one, and it's sort of 3 or 4 big massive buildings, all apartments. It's SMDC, and it's right by the Mall of Asia. But I had a lot of trouble with these, and I definitely wouldn't book them again. So as you can see, it's raining, but the wind is absolutely tearing through here. I don't think the microphone's picked it up. I've tried to show you outside, but it doesn't look too bad on the camera, but it was absolutely hammer it down. And we actually had some earthquakes and flood, and the rain, it looked like in this it had actually stopped at the minute, but it absolutely hammered it down, and between the buildings it was just roaring through the wind. And this was a few days before we had the massive earthquake where a lot of people lost their lives. I think it was about 75 or 76 people or more died in the earthquake. But by then I'd moved from the capital and I was actually more in the country. I went to Cebu after this, caught a flight to Cebu, and we had been ripped off by the tuk-tuk driver. He had took me halfway back to my hotel, I might have mentioned it in my other one, and dropped me off and said, oh yeah, I can't go any further because the road's closed here, but it's only down there to walk. And he took the full price, and it wasn't, and in the end I ended up getting lost and having to buy a new chip for the phone and order. It was a complete nightmare, and I was only about halfway back to the hotel. But that's the trouble when you're in a city, you don't know where you are for the first few days. But eventually got back and everything worked out okay. So looking back, I think they not only ripped me off at this hotel, I'm thinking they ripped off booking.com for their commission as well. So what happened, when I turned up, I knew I was about an hour early, but I thought I'd just go in and ask, see if I could come in. Went to the main entrance and they said, no, you have to ring the number to the agent because it's round the other side, even though they're all part of the same building, and then walk round there. Come down, we had to go through a load of paperwork, and they was going to put me in a room. And then after a while they was talking between themselves, and they decided that the room, I couldn't go in that room, and they said, oh, they had to put me in a different room in the other building. So then we had to walk round to the other building, and then we went up, we went in the room, and by this time it was don't know,
YouTube
probably
and Netflix.
about 20 minutes early from the actual time I'm supposed to be in. But I'd already said to the other one that I was early and they said it would be okay. And she said, no, you have to go on to booking.com, cancel your booking,
balcony,
and
but there's flies
give me
all
the
over
cash
the place.
money
That's
here.
annoying.
And I thought that's a bit strange.
Balcony doors does not
she
lock.
wouldn't let me do it any other way, so I did that. And then it was more money. And I said, well, what's all this extra cost you put on this? And they said, oh, we've also charged you an extra booking fee. And I said, well, by the time we had finished the paperwork, it was only about 10 minutes early. And I said to her that I wasn't happy about it. But I'm thinking it's all a big con, so they don't have to pay booking.com and they can get more money out of the customer. And the room wasn't very nice. It would have been alright if it was modern, but it was really a bit manky and dirty as well. Yeah, just tourist. No, just
so that's the monument of our national hero, Dr. Jose. Then at the back of that, there's a Ocean Park. Are you sure you don't want to take a picture, huh?
no, you're okay.
Then this one is the Manila Grandstand.
The grandstand.
Yeah.
No, just
So that's the monument of our national.
I just was going to have a look. Is that okay? No, on a Mall of Asia's down that way, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.